Hey guys, how are you doing? Most people still use artificial intelligence in the most manual way possible. They open the chat, write a prompt, copy a response, paste it somewhere else, adjust the text, repeat the process the next day, and so on. And then they call that automation. But a real AI agent should do something very different. Work on its own. Remember your preferences. Execute tasks at set times and deliver the finished result exactly where you already work. Today I'm going to test something exactly along those lines. The Hermes agent, an open source project that lets you create an agent with memory, skills, and scheduled automations. Deal? So let's get to the video. Hermes Agent is an open source project with an MIT license created by Nose Research. In practice, it works as a layer for you to create an AI agent that talks to you through interfaces you already use, like Telegram, Discord, Slack, and many other channels. So, instead of opening a tool every time you need something, you simply send a message to your agent. Well, before setting up the agent, there's a very important decision to make. Where will it run? And here, you can think of three main options. The first would be to run it on your own computer. This might work for testing, but it's not the ideal scenario for an agent that needs to work on its own. If the computer shuts down, if the internet goes out, if the system restarts, or if you accidentally close something, the agent simply stops working. The second option would be to use a public cloud, like AWS, Google Cloud, or Azure. This can be powerful, but it can also be more complicated for those who don't want to deal with a more technical setup. Also, depending on how the server is set up, the cost can vary a lot. For those who are just starting out or want predictability, this can become a problem. Now, the third option is to use a VPS, which is a virtual private server. This is an interesting solution because the agent stays online 24 hours a day, 7 days a week with a static IP and without depending on your personal computer. You set it up once, leave the server running, and the agent keeps going. The server is available even while you sleep, travel, or are using another machine. In this example, I'm going to use a VPS from Hostinger because the idea here is exactly to test a simpler environment to get Hermes up and running. The advantage is having a server that's always active, support in Portuguese, and a structure that makes deployment easier. Instead of treating the agent as a local experiment, the idea is to put it in a structure that's closer to real-world use. So, the first thing you need to do is choose a plan. Here, there are several options: KVM, KVM1, KVM2, KVM4, and KVM8. To start, you can choose KVM, KVM1 here. Then, you'll proceed with the payment. If you choose 12 or 24-month plans here, you'll get a nice discount. Now, if you use my coupon, you'll get an extra 10 off. So, it ends up being much more worth it, because besides the brand's discount, you also get an extra discount here to use your VPS. So, just enter your payment information here. And from there, the whole installation process is done automatically. Well, so after signing up for the VPS and accessing the panel, you need to save the main access information for the server, like the IP, username, and password. This information is very important because I'll use it to access the terminal and start configuring Hermes. When the automatic installation is finished, you'll see this interface here. Then you'll click here on Open, and it will ask for the username and password, the ones we just saved. Well, with the server ready, the next step is to configure which artificial intelligence model Hermes will use. I'm going to use an OpenAI API key here, but you can use any other model, including free or open source models. Since I'm using an OpenAI key here, it's going to ask for my credentials. I'm going to authorize it, and from there, I'll select which model within OpenAI I want to use. There are several options, and you can choose the more expensive ones or the cheaper ones. Inside the Hermes terminal, I'm going to choose the Quick Setup option, which is Quick Setup. That's the one they're recommending here. Once this step is done, now comes one of the most important parts. Connecting Hermes to Telegram. That's what makes the agent really practical in your daily life. Instead of accessing a dashboard, opening a terminal, or entering a separate platform, I simply talk to my agent as if it were a person or assistant inside Telegram. So here in the Hermes terminal, I'm going to choose Telegram. But there are several options here that you can choose from, like Slack, WhatsApp, and so on. So Telegram will be my communication interface. Well, it's already telling me here that I need to create my bot, so it shows exactly which service I should look for inside Telegram. Let's go there then. Here I'm going to look for botfather, which is the official bot used to create new bots. Then I'll start a conversation with him. I'll go ahead and use the new bot command here, which is to create my new bot. I'll choose a name. Name chosen. Then I'll receive the access token. This token here is like a key that connects the Telegram bot to Hermes. Well, with that done, now it's showing me another security step here that's very important. I don't want just anyone to find this bot and start talking to my agent, so it's showing me here that I need to use an identification bot. I'll copy it. I'll paste it there in Telegram. Then I'll select this one that's verified. And then I'll find out my unique ID here in Telegram, which is this one. It's public. No need to hide it. Then I'll copy the ID. Go back to Hermes. Paste it. And from there, this ID will already be added to the list of allowed users here in Hermes. So with that, only my account can interact with the agent. After that, I'll start Hermes here. Done! This part is finished. I'll go back to Telegram now. I'll start a conversation. But notice that I don't get a response. Why? Because it's not linked to my Hermes. So let's do the following. I'll go back to Hermes. I'll press Ctrl+C to return to the terminal. And I'll type the following. Hermes Gateway. Done. From this moment on, the bot starts responding directly through Telegram. Look, I can send a simple message here like, "Hi." The agent already responds right here. So this is very important because you can check in real time that the configuration worked and that you already have this communication between Telegram and Hermes. Well, but the goal here isn't just to chat with my agent. The goal is to create workflows that actually execute. So let's get started. The first use case is a sales intelligence agent. The idea here is to imagine a small company, an agency, or a sales team that needs to keep track of opportunities, competitors, and market movements on a daily basis. Normally, this type of task requires someone to open several pages, search for news, visit company websites, read posts, organize everything in a document, and send this summary to the team. It's an important task, but very repetitive. With Hermes, I can turn this into a daily automation through Telegram. To do this, I'm going to send this instruction here. Every day at 7:30 in the morning, search for the main news about artificial intelligence companies, automation, and tools for content creators. Organize it into a short report for a sales team, separating it into outreach opportunities, possible competitors, relevant news, and action suggestions. Send everything here on Telegram in Brazilian Portuguese. You can see that it's already creating Chrome here. What is this? It's an automation that works more or less like an automatic calendar. So, always on the day and time I chose, the artificial intelligence will do this search on the internet and will bring the report here for me. Done. It has already finished scheduling here, but I'm going to ask it to run once, just to see if it's working properly. Look. It has already finished and brought me the report with everything I asked for. So just imagine if I or my team had to do this manually. It takes time, it's a lot of work, and most of the time, it's not that organized. So, this makes everyday tasks in a company much easier because you can adapt it according to your content. You create prompts according to your field, put them here in Hermes, and automatically it will perform these tasks for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and best of all, without complaining. So, now that Hermes has already managed to generate the business report through Telegram, here comes the most interesting part. Turning this information into an organized database in Notion. Because getting a summary on Telegram already helps a lot. But in a company, information often needs to be stored as a record, turned into a database, material that the team can consult later. So, to do this second automation, I'm going to use this prompt here. I want you to take this information and record it in a table in Notion. So what I want to show you is that Hermes doesn't have to stop at just a text response. It can take what it just produced, understand the structure of the information, and organize everything in a table. So, for that, I first need to set up the connection between Hermes and Notion. So, let's do it. Here in Notion, I'm going to create a page called AI News. To start the automation, it will ask for the table link. So, I'm going to click here on the 3 dots in Notion, copy the link, go back here to Telegram, and paste it. Done. It already made a little progress. But since it's a private page, it will ask for an API key. So now I go back to Notion, go into the tools integrations, create a new connection, copy the token, come back here to the table, and add this integration I just created. Then you just go back to Telegram and paste the token. This detail is important because it's not enough just to have this token. The page or database also needs to be shared with the integration so that Hermes can write to it. There you go. From that point on, he can already connect the report he just generated on Telegram with the Notion table. And take a look at how it turned out. Everything is organized column by column just the way I asked, and this is a task that will automatically repeat on the date and time I chose. So, what started as a conversation on Telegram ended up becoming a structured table inside Notion. Pretty cool, right? What really stands out about Hermes isn't just that he replies on Telegram. That alone would just make him another chatbot. The really interesting point is the combination of an always-on server, memory, skills, artificial intelligence models, and integrations with external tools. So, if you want to automate your workflow today, I'll leave the links in the description and in the first pinned comment. And if you're going to use Hostinger to help you with this task, just use my discount code, which is also here in the description. Alright, I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.
Is a ghost and the moon is a dime.